In this video, we're going to discuss layers and positioning. So what are layers? Layers are like sheets that are stuck on each other in your design. So it's like transparent sheets, and on each sheet there's an element. So on each sheet there's a text, there's a photo, there's a shape, and they're all stacked on each other from top or front to back. So think of it like a book where there's some sheets or pages from page 1 to the last page, let's say 100 in this case, stacked on each other, all right? And you could sit through some of the pages in the layers, all right, in a design. So you could sit through some of the pages. So some layers are to the front, which are visible, all right? So you might have a text to the front that is very visible, or you might have a photo to the front that is visible, while you might have a shape to the back that is partially visible based on your design. All right. So whenever a layer is to the front or element is to the front on a front layer, you could see that element very good. But whenever a layer is to the back or an element on a layer is to the back, you could either see part of it or a whole of it, but it's stacked in a layer to basically visualize your graphics in a way that you want your audience to see it. So I'm going to show you an example of how to move your layers forward, how to bring it backwards, or how to send it to the back or send your elements or your layers to the front. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a photo right now. So click on upload, and then I'm going to click on upload files, and then I'll click on this image right here, and then I'll click upload. So once I click on upload, I have this image right here on the left hand side that I would like to add to this design. So I'll click on it. Once I click on it and it's added, I'll resize it by clicking the corner and dragging it outwards. So as I drag it outwards to bring it all the way down to the bottom to cover the entire page, you could see that now it has hide some of the shapes. So based on the fact that it has hide some of the shape, it means that this layer, which the photo is on, is actually in front of the layers behind. Alright, so the layers behind are the layer right here, which we have the photo in the circle, in the frame, and we have a shape, which is a rectangle that is right behind the text that says this is the best Canva course ever. So this image that we just added is on a layer that is in front of those texts, those shapes. All right, so this layer is in front of those shapes. So if we right click, we can click layer, and then we could send this photo backwards. All right, so if we send it backwards, it would go one step backwards behind the layer that is behind it. So for now, I'm just going to go to show layers. So when I go to show layers, then we could see the list of layers that are in this design. All right, so all of the layers have an element. So this layer right here have the text box, and this one have a text box that's a customer feedback. As I hover over it, you could see it's being highlighted over here. This layer is the image that we just imported, and as you can see, it is in front of the text box, not the text box, the shape. It's in front of the shape, and it's in front of the frame with the photo that we just added. All right, so when we try to drag an image or a layer, in this case backwards, we could just click on the corner right here, and we could just drag it back behind the layers that we want it to go behind, and we could release it. All right, so let me put it back where it was. So it was here, and what I did is I clicked and hold, and I dragged it down behind these two layers that is now above it. So now these layers that are above it here, they are now visible on screen. So if I drag it back up one more time above the two layers above, now they are not visible because this image is covering the entire page, and now it's above the frame and it's above the shape. So the shape and the frame is not visible. So I'll just click and hold and drag it down behind them. So now they are visible and we could see them. All right. So if we're gonna send an image or a layer, in this case backwards, not an image, a layer, we could just go back to our design, and what we could do is we could click on the element, because each element would be a layer, and what we could do is we could right click and then we could go to layer and then we could click send backward. As I mentioned, when I say send backward, or when we say send backward in this case, based on this option, it means it's going to carry the layer back behind the element that is directly behind it. So if I click send backward, now the text is sent backwards behind the layer, directly behind it. So if I right click and I go to layer and then I go to show layers, the text is now sent back behind the shape or the rectangle, because the rectangle is directly behind it in this list of layers. All right, it was behind it in the list of layers. So if we go back to our design and we right click and we click layer and we click bring forward, then it would move forward in front of the layer that is directly in front of it. So we click bring forward, so now it moves up one in front of the layer that was in front of it. All right, so that's understanding layers. All right, so if you want to lock one of the position of your layers, what you could do is you could select your layer. So let me just deselect it. So if you want to lock this to avoid moving it around while we're editing it, we want to avoid moving it around while editing it, we can just select it by clicking on it. Now we have the lock sign right here. All right, and it says lock position. So once we click lock position, we would be able to edit it, but we won't be able to move the position around on the design page. So if you click lock and then you try to click on it and hold it, so click and hold, you're not able to move it around. So if you click back on it and then you click the lock to unlock it, then you're now able to drag it around. All right, so let's click undo right up in the top left corner. So we can lock this position right here. If we right click and we go to layer and we go to show all layer, we could just click on it right here, and then we could click this drop down menu right here by clicking the three dots right here, and then we could look for lock. Once we look for lock, we could lock the layer, or we could just lock the position. So if you lock the position, you could edit it, but if you lock it, you can't edit it. So most of the times you would want to edit it, so you just click lock position only so that you could edit it. But if you click lock, then you won't be able to edit it like you want. All right, so for now we just lock the position, and you could even lock some others from here as well. All right, so you could just click on the three dots right here to lock some others, and they're locked. All right, so when you click on them, like you click on the shape, because this one is locked, so if you click on the shape, you cannot edit the shape at the moment. You only could just, you can't really do anything to it at the moment. You could just see it and not move it. But this one right here, which is just lock based on the position only, you could click on it and you still could edit it. All right, so that's the difference between lock position only and lock. All right, so that's it for this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.